Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. New week, new stats, new us. Well, same us. Tariq Rashad, married man Rob with a bachelor's in arts
and science.
You smart.
Yeah. And John, what you jacking today?
I'm gonna keep it cordial. I'm just gonna be John today. You'll see my personality as it comes across through the show.
Okay.
All right, just John today. We got a tight schedule for you today. We're gonna jump right into it, starting with the NBA playoffs. It's getting real. I mean, this game's on right now as we speak. Probably should be watching them, but we took a break out, talked to everybody, let them know how we feeling about what's going on in NBA playoffs. And I want to start. I mean, we got some tough series. KD went crazy earlier. Superstars are out. LeBron had words to say about it. I know John has this policy of not talking about people that's not in the playoffs during playoff time. So I don't know if John wants to get into LeBron's comments about the NBA, which are really interesting comments. Yeah, you got Philly and Atlanta back and forth duel. Actually, I'm sorry. No, yeah, only three all-stars got hurt recently. Together over the last week, but still, it's all over the place. So we'll be going with it, guys.
I think we should give some flowers where I can still smell them. And I know John personally, at least I'm predicting that he has some words to talk about the Slim Reaper.
You talking to me? Yeah, I think he's talking to you.
Mr. Kevin Durant.
I feel like that'd be a good place to start.
Let's talk about it then. So,
John, I want to hear Rob talk about it. Rob, what did you see last night? What did you see from Kevin Durant yesterday, man?
Listen, man. The only thing I can say is the best player in the NBA been hurt most of the season.
Man, this some old bull.
Kevin Durant season 2. So I could be talking about Kevin Durant.
No, he's not.
You know, and you know, like, listen, the last time we saw him, it was Game 5, almost the must-win. I consider it a must-win for the Brooklyn Nets, especially with their injuries and James Harden coming back, and it was a complete shell of himself. Kevin Durant was a man amongst boys, man. Like, that, he's a cold-blooded player, man. He's showing why he's arguably the best scorer of all time. Definitely the best scorer of his generation. And you know, this is why the Brooklyn Nets signed him. This is why they let him coast through the regular season. This is why Kyrie Irving wanted to play with him. This is why James Harden went to Brooklyn, because of moments like this. And you know, like, he was hitting tough shots all night, making it look easy. He said, PJ Tucker, you 6'5", I'm just gonna shoot over you. And he literally took over the game, and it wasn't just in scoring. I mean, obviously, like, that's what we want to highlight, but he's a bad man, dog. He's a bad man.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. I definitely want to give KD his flowers for the amazing game he had against the Milwaukee Bucks, Game 5. To me, and I'm not going to say like I've watched every single playoff game from front to back, but to me, the best playoff game this so far was Jason Tatum's game against Kevin Durant's Brooklyn Nets when he dropped 50. I know Dame has had some really amazing games earlier in the playoffs as well, but this was the most impressive, simply because although James Harden was on the court, he wasn't as effective as he usually is. Now, granted, you still have to prepare for James Harden to be James Harden, but Kevin Durant was a facilitator. He was running the one, and the multitude of tough shots he hit. Now, it reminded me of when KD, it looked like he was playing in the Rucker when he came to New York and dropped 66, just pulling from wherever he wanted to. It's really amazing to watch someone that big be that fluid with the ball in his hands, from passing, scoring, rebounding, dribbling, all of those factors. But it also is really disappointing to see someone the same size not be able to adjust or tweak the simple parts of his game that would put him over the top. I'm not convinced. I got so much to talk about when it comes to this. I'm gonna move on soon, but I'm not convinced that KD is the alpha based on this game. I think he played an amazing game. I'm not taking anything away from him. This is the adversity that I was talking about Brooklyn not facing last week, and so far, one for one. Still a 7-game series. The series isn't over. And then this is only the second round of the playoffs, so there's so much more to go after it. I do think that this is the toughest challenge they'll face in the Eastern Conference, but defensively, if Philly was to make it, it's not a 6'5" PJ Tucker he's shooting over now. Now it's a 6'10" Ben Simmons that he'll be shooting over, or 6'8", 6'9" Tobias Harris that he'll have to shoot over. If Kyrie and James Harden don't get healthy, that will be a tough hill to climb. This is still a tough hill to climb. But going back into Giannis, the charging fouls, the pull-up, the pull-up threes aren't fluent threes. Like, you're not going to turn someone who's not a shooter into a shooter by saying, hey, just walk up the court and let it go. Oh, they're going to keep backing up, pull it out, and then let it go. Step into your dribble 7 times and then step into your jump shot. That's bullshit. That's not how it works, especially for someone who doesn't shoot. And then at the end of the game, what you do best is catch and dunk. And he dropped the money.
That's by Durant on a switch. Middleton with a pass that's broken up. Jeff Green got a hand on it, and Durant comes up with a loose ball.
Jeff Green, his presence, fumbled the ball by Giannis, who had a dunk on.
He dropped the money. Great play by Chris Middleton, who stepped up again yesterday. Great play by Chris Middleton. Dropped it off right in Giannis' hands to tie the game. He fumbles it away. Turnover. It's really two ends of the spectrum. You see where them lights are brightest, KD is shining a lot more right now.
Yeah, man. I think last night was a great legacy game for Kevin Durant. He answered a lot of people's questions, specifically people on this show. What can Kevin Durant do when he doesn't have another all-star? Can he respond? Can he pass? Can he rebound? He's only a scorer. And last night he showed you that I'm a basketball player. I can do it all. And when need be, if I need to do it all, I can do it efficiently. First player in NBA history to drop 49 points and have a triple-double.
In the playoffs.
I think it's in the playoffs. I think it's high time. I think it's high time that we recognize that we need to give Kevin Durant the title that he earned, which is the best man, the best player on the planet right now. And Rob, you can say whatever you want to say about how the person that is the best player in the NBA is hurt. I'm going to say it right here and right now. Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet right now playing basketball.
That's a bold statement.
Remember that. Remember it. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a.
For one game, he showed you that he can rise to the occasion. For one game, he showed you that he can pass and rebound and take over a team. For one game, he showed you that he doesn't need all-stars to win. And I think that he can continue to do that. And Ty, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next game in the event that James Harden isn't healthy. And if he wins then, what's going to be the excuse then? You're still not convinced. So I feel like
same scenario. Same scenario.
I'm not done. Question. I'll let you talk. I'm not done. I requested my time back. Thank you.
Take me out. It's my turn. It is. You told me it was my turn.
With that being said, I just feel as though right now that game that we've seen is only a glimpse of what Kevin Durant can do and what he could have done throughout his career, and he's chosen not to because he understands his role. But if you ask Kevin Durant to be a scorer, to be a passer, to be a rebounder, to be a defensive presence, to lead a team, there was no more bigger alpha moment than it was last night. And I think that he checked a lot of boxes off in people's doubting boxes. That's my thoughts.
John, okay. Let's say he goes on to win this series, win the championship, whatever the case may be. You got it. But you see, Siri don't even jack this. The Siri's not even jacking this. So you're telling me in the second round, Kevin Durant proved that he's the best player in the NBA in the second round in a game 5? Not even an elimination game. We're not talking about an elimination game. We're talking about a regular game. We're talking about a hard playoff game. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game, great showing. But, bro, you doing what you do all the time. Last year, Damian Lillard wins game 1 against LeBron. He's the best player ever. He's the best player in the league. I let you finish. Hold up.
It's my turn.
Devin Booker scored some points, and the NBA scored some points. Now he's the best shooting guard of all time. He's the top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Top 5 talent.
The man hadn't even made the playoffs yet. John, you're a front runner. And if KD loses, my question to you is what happens then? Do we say, oh no, he's not an alpha? Oh, he's still an alpha. Game 5 showed you. And if so, you know I'm gonna do what Max Kellerman did with Stephen A. Smith and ask how is that not hypocritical toward LeBron James? But I'll let you. I'm gonna bring that back to you. If they were to lose, if they were to lose,
when we had this conversation, we had this conversation
like you said earlier. I'm talking. Let me finish. I'm asking you a question. I want you to answer my question. I don't want you to hold on and bring it nowhere else. I want you to answer my question.
I'm answering the question.
My question is.
I'm answering the question.
My question. Do you know what's my question?
I'm answering.
What's my question? What's my question?
You just asked it. You said, am I going to hold the same?
No, that's not my question. My
accountable.
question is, if KD loses this series, is this still the best game you've ever seen? Does it matter as much? Or are we going to stop talking about KD because he's out the playoffs like you said about everybody else?
I never said that this was the best game I ever seen, first and foremost. I didn't say that. I said this is a legendary performance. I said that this is...
Go ahead.
I didn't say. I said he's the best player in the league right now, and I said that this is a legendary performance. I didn't say that this is the best performance I've ever seen. People have performances.
This is the reason why we need to give him his flowers.
This is just Kevin Durant
because he won a game 5 in second round.
And the reason why we need to give him his flowers is because he's outplayed LeBron James, specifically the best player in the league, multiple times in the playoffs. And this right here is giving you more ammunition as to why he's the best player in the league. LeBron James is sitting at home. Kevin Durant is putting on a show. He's the best player on the planet, period. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. Your question, your doubts is because of how he left Golden State. It's not a performance base. It's about the teams and the places. If you look at a performance base and you look at the last 5 years or last 4 years in the playoffs, Kevin Durant has clearly set himself apart as being the best player in the league. This game right here, I just feel was an exclamation point to stamp himself as that player. That's just my point. This is how I feel.
So to Ty's question, if they lose, is he still the best player in the NBA?
If they lose, I still feel he's the best player in the NBA. For sure. I still feel he's the best player in the NBA.
Because he won one game 5 and had a historic.
His body of work the last couple years. You keep pointing on his game 5. It's accumulation up to game 5. You act like the man hasn't had multiple scoring titles. You act like the man hasn't had an MVP. You acting like the man hasn't been to the NBA Finals and won 2 NBA championships and had 2 Finals MVPs. Let's not forget about those stuff. This is adding on to that.
So when LeBron played against KD, because you said he outplayed him in every basketball series, the first time they met in the playoffs, LeBron outplayed him 4-1.
I said over the last 3 years, he outplayed him in the NBA Finals. Let's get it correct.
I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. The first time they played in the playoffs, LeBron beat him. The second time they played in the playoffs, KD got the win. I'm gonna go into the last time when LeBron's team mirrored what KD team looked like last night and give you LeBron James's stats in those series. And you tell me KD outplayed him. He won the game because he had better players on his team, but he did not outplay LeBron. 46, 35, 51, 29. Are you kidding me? Where that's at with KD? He ain't do none of that against him in that series. But he had the better team, so he won. He had the better team, so he won. But don't tell me he's outplayed LeBron. Unilaterally, he's continued to grow. Unilaterally, he won. Who you think gonna win it? He won the series, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So
he won the
if you're
series.
the Finals MVP, that means you're the best player in the series. You're the best player in the series.
No.
I just mean that you outplayed someone else.
So Iggy was the best player in the series. Iggy.
What the hell did you just say?
Was Iggy the best player in that series?
Yes.
He wasn't
the best player in that series.
No, he wasn't.
He's the most valuable. He wasn't the best player. He wasn't the best.
No. So you don't always win. And it's funny because the more and more we grow as a unit, especially me and you, John, it makes it sound like I'm a LeBron fan and you're the KD fan, and we don't care about nobody else. When in reality, I'm a D Wade fan and I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. So I've been, in a sense, following KD for a long time, and I don't have any I don't have anything bad to say. I don't have any false narratives on his story as a basketball player. I think he can play the game as good as anyone we've seen. I've said that before when we did our votes. I think he's a top 10 player. I think he's all of that. But when it comes down to it, these are the things that he's going to need to say he's better than Bron. He's better than Kobe. He may be better than Jordan. He may be better than Bird or Magic or these top 5, top 10 greats. And to me, as great as it was last night, it was the second round in a game 5. It wasn't an elimination game. It was a strong game 5. It was a strong game. You need that 3-2. I believe that. I don't know the numbers. I think it's somewhere in the 70s that if you go up 3-2, you win the series. I get it, but I'm not about to throw the white flag up and say KD's accomplished everything that he needs to accomplish to throw himself over Bron. I don't think he's done that yet.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I don't think he's done that yet.
So I'm gonna flip the question. If Kevin Durant was to lose last night, then what? What would have been the response today? Let me ask you that, because
Kevin Durant lost with them same numbers. If he lost with them numbers,
yeah. What have we won? What have we lost?
How does it feel? How does it feel to not have a star on your team and go as hard as you can and not win a game? But he surpassed that. My hat's off to him. Great way of getting a link on that legacy ladder that you need. He definitely checked the box, but it's not the biggest box, John. It's not that big of a box either. In retrospect,
I just
maybe to this playoffs, but not to legacy.
I just feel like we're minimizing the moment. Like when you say this is not the biggest thing, at the moment right now, it is the biggest thing. Because if he would have lost, it would have been a lot of bad shade thrown at him. KD can't do this. This is what we're talking about. He's not the alpha. He can't lead. This is what happens. He showed up in the moment and he beat a team that out-talented him, and he beat a team with role players and dominated. Like there was no other guy on the floor last night. You could have put Giannis on him. Whoever you put on Kevin Durant got torched last night. It just shows you he's a level above everybody else. And that's all I'm saying. There's nobody in the NBA right now that's guarding LeBron or is playing at his level, period.
I think it's fair to say that Kevin Durant is definitely the best scorer, right? And that's what he does best, right? And that's one of the biggest parts in basketball. But if KD would have lost last night, I would have said what I said last week and what I said at the beginning of this episode segment. The best player in the NBA been hurt all season.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means.
It wouldn't have been no slander to KD. I just would have stayed consistent.
Well, we got a couple more minutes. We don't got much more time. I guess I'm gonna ask one more question based on what's going on here in this series. Do you think, John, you brought it up for a quick second, Giannis could have guarded him? Giannis was a first team all defense, correct?
First team
all defense. He didn't guard KD down that stretch. Not one time. Not one time did he get switched onto him. Not one time did he say, we scored a basket, this is my guy. And size-wise, and I understand coaching and matchups and analytics and all of that, but the feeling around the league as well, and let me get this question out, was that Giannis didn't step up at all. Giannis kind of laid an egg yesterday from both an offensive and a defensive standpoint. How do you guys feel about that really quickly?
I was disappointed that Giannis didn't guard him and they didn't make the switch earlier. But once again, let's rewind the tape back to game 1. Giannis was guarding him. KD was double cross, pull up, double cross, heads to the basket. Doesn't matter this is what I'm talking about. He's just a level above everybody when he gets into that mode. Now, you could have tried to make it a defensive adjustment, but Rob, you know as well as I know, once a player gets into his rhythm, it's hard to guard him. It's hard to stop him. KD was in that rhythm last night where you couldn't. It's just one of those nights where you just pray for somebody to miss. So, am I disappointed? and Giannis not accepting the challenge, yeah, I'm definitely disappointed in the moment. He has come back and said today that he wants to guard him now. He wants to take the challenge. So I can't wait to see a game 6.
My quick take is that as a competitor, as an athletic freak, as the Greek freak, as the leader of the team, as someone who can be someone who is the best two-way players in the NBA. Defensive player of the year, first team all defense. I think you have to, even if the coach is telling you, oh, well, I think Chris Middleton, nah. If he gonna torch me, he gonna have to torch me. And like he gonna have to torch me. And I'm disappointed in Giannis. And I can't say like, you know, at the end of the day, Johnny, you are right when the player gets into that rhythm. But like we've seen, not saying like, but we've seen other superstars guard the best player in the fourth quarter. We've seen Kobe do that throughout his career. We've seen LeBron James do that on Derrick Rose when he was hot in the playoffs. You see it left and right. Right?
Superstar that considers themselves a defensive player do it.
Right. So, Giannis, you gotta step it up, dog. That's my thoughts on it.
Big facts. But our NBA playoff segment turned into a Kevin Durant and the Milwaukee Bucks. But hey, that's the most entertaining series right now. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But we'll be back with more 3 the Hard Way.